Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this special broadcast from the Africa Energy Forum in Nairobi, Kenya. My name is Mwelo Chivesakunda, and I'll be your host for this special broadcast, where with me is the CFO of Copperbelt Energy PLC from Zambia, who's attending this event. Mr. Mukuka Mutale, welcome to the show.
Thank you and good morning.
Good morning. So how are you finding the event so far?
Oh, the event has been great. Great interactions, great discussions, and it's been fun.
It's been fun, absolutely. Obviously, CEC has been participating in the energy forum for many years. And how significant is this particular year's event to the company, and why is it so important for you guys to be so consistent in participating?
Yeah, that's an interesting point. We've been participating for a while. For this year, I think it's even more important because we've sort of started actualizing the fruits of the interactions, the relationships, and the strategy from a business perspective. So if you look back home, we've started deploying certain projects and a number of our partners there, whether we're looking at EPC, our financiers out here. And also it's a learning point. The landscape is significantly changing, specifically when you look at technology advancements. And it's at such forums that we get to learn what's happening, we get to catch up, we get to share ideas and feed that into our strategy and policy direction from our interactions with the government perspective.
Absolutely, and what's been quite interesting is that we were able to capture some footage of you at one of the panel discussions at this year's event, and at that panel discussion there were several issues that around energy transition that were brought up. Now, Financial Insight does understand that your company is obviously invested in renewables, and you understand the complexities of financing these projects. Yesterday, you mentioned some key points that need to be looked into. What are your insights from that particular event, and what are some of those key points that you would want financials to know about?
No, thanks. I think, look, from a financing perspective, some of the key challenges that the sector has is that we're sort of coming from historically where everyone was used to deal with the government and any form of financing of infrastructure has to be underpinned or you needed some form of sovereign guarantees to come into place. But if you look at where we are today, most governments in Africa, whether it's Zambia, South Africa, you come to Kenya, you look at all of them, look, they've got their own issues from an infrastructure perspective and financing perspective. So how can financiers, developers like ourselves come together and find innovative solutions of financing these projects without necessarily bringing in the government or sovereign guarantees to underpin these projects? And really that's one of the key focus areas from a business perspective, trying to see how we can work with all the key players, specifically challenging the financiers that let's review the risk allocation and see if we can structure projects differently and ensure that we continue in the development agenda.
Absolutely, and I like the point that you put across regarding the allocation of risk. I believe in your panel discussion you did talk about the importance of now maybe say the B2B sort of approach being put in that perspective. But speaking of B2B, it's obviously one of the key things about participating in events such as this one. How has the B2B interaction been at this 2023 event, and are you hoping to take home some deals in progress or deals that will probably be closed?
Yeah, look, it's really the reason why we are here, right? B2B engagements, because we are sort of pushing a pipeline of projects, specific businesses that we are working with on various projects, specifically the financiers. So we've had very good engagements with them. We've made progress on existing transactions, which we are hoping that it will help us to get to some form of close within the next few months. We also did have some very good B2B meetings with technology providers. So we now start looking at things differently. The technology advancements, some of which we were not aware of, we see how that can fit into our sort of supply portfolio. So overall, I think very good engagements, and I think I'm quite pleased that that we came in here and had the discussions with our partners.
Absolutely, and just before we end, and congratulations, by the way, your company won the Best Picture award. But what would you say are some of the few key takeaways that you take with you from your interactions with key delegates that you've had discussions with, and your various interactions?
No, thanks on the kind message. Yeah. Look, in terms of the key takeaways for me is that the landscape is fast changing. I think without a doubt there are opportunities because of the supply-demand dynamics. Now this is not just in Zambia, this is primarily across the continent. There might be one or two countries that have surpluses of power today, but generally there is growing demand. And with a growing demand and the need for us to sort of decarbonize the world, there comes an opportunity. What technologies should we be deploying? How quickly can we do it? And one of the biggest issues is that primarily this business power sector infrastructure is dominated sort of by government utilities.
Correct.
Now there is a realization overall that there is need for private sector money to come in. And therefore, what we are seeing across various jurisdictions is a sort of change in reforms, in policy changes, to try and see how the reforms can attract private sector money. And that in itself for us is a key takeaway. What can we learn from there? How are the reforms happening in one country versus the other? Absolutely. Is there some form of synchronization that can happen to allow for a seamless and alignment of rules and of engagement, and finally, there are just too many opportunities. So it's time to go back and look at them, see if we can actualize that.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's been great chatting with you, and on behalf of the team and myself at Financial Insight, we'd like to thank you, and also thank you for also appearing on the CFO series. I hope everyone will have had a chance to actually watch it by now, and we look forward to further engagements, and wishing you all the best in the rest of the remaining 2 days of this particular 2023 edition of the Africa Energy Forum.
Thank you, and thank you for being here.